Is my mic working? Yes, it is. Alright. That's somehow off to a wonderful start again. Alright. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Aero Show, or the Firecast, as I'm gonna call it from now on. I officially decided on the name. And I think it's going to be Firecast or Firepoint, Flashpoint, something. Actually, no, I still haven't decided. But anyway, hello, hi, welcome, hello. I know it's like it's episode 3, and finally I've like figured out what I want to do. Like once again, there are new changes. I'm completely stopping the checking what's trending on Reddit or what's trending on Twitter, and it's just gonna be a new show. The second thing is I've actually organized the shows so that they flow through well through different topics. They start to one topic, and I'm talking about something similar. They'll move on to another topic. I've done that, and something else also. Also, I have upgraded. I bought a stand for my camera, so I can actually use my main screen right here. So I found out that this phone camera, what I'm using, I can mirror the camera feed directly to my PC, so I can use OBS and not wirelessly screen share. So actually going to be the camera feed is going to be a bit better. I'm still not keen on doing screen capture because that draws a lot of CPU usage, and just using camera actually improves performance a lot. That's what I've learned. So yeah, screw this stupid Chromebook. I'm now gonna be sharing the screen of my actual monitor. So yeah, hopefully this will look a lot better. Hopefully, I mean obviously now it looks a little bit trash, but anyway, let's just go back. So that means I don't have to move the camera. Like don't have to tilt it up or tilt it down. It's a perfect height, so my face can actually look pretty well centered. Also, this thing has to be like that. Also, yeah, there's that. We have tons of different things to talk about. We have to talk about. I missed a very important topic yesterday, and that was relating to the whole Ackman versus YouTube and Quantum TV situation. I missed that somehow. I missed a very important game announcement. God of War Ragnarok. I don't know how I missed that, but we are going to cover a lot of topics today. Different types of topics relating from Bitcoin to house prices to hotel prices to a lot of other stuff. So yeah, if you like what you see, make sure to subscribe. So yeah, let's get started. I'm constantly changing things about the stream. I've improved the exposure on my camera. I've improved some settings in OBS. Yes, I found out that 10,000 what do you call it? 10,000 bitrate, yeah, 10,000 kilobits per second is way too high for YouTube, and so YouTube tries to compress it, and it compresses badly, and that's why the quality looks like shit. And obviously, the biggest change I made is the show is now going to be in light mode, unfortunately, because light mode, you can see there's a lot of less grain in my camera feed, and that's not only due to the improved settings in OBS, but that is also because of the lights. Because if I turn the lights off, you can see a lot of if I let me just open notepad on my, do I not have notepad? I So if I open something white, you can see all of that noise in the background. I've already explained this in the last live stream, but apparently if I turn on the lights, that noise is gone. Like I don't know how cameras and all of that works. The second thing, what I've also figured out is if I decrease the volume of my mic, and then if I move closer to the mic, the audio does sound a bit better. So yeah, there's that. Also, that's all the things I'm gonna make. So yeah, I think we should get started without any further ado. I'm gonna turn the lights off for this part and just hopefully it'll be better for my eyes because I kind of want to sleep. It's Sunday and I have a big day tomorrow. So yeah, let's switch back to that and recenter that a bit and move the stupid pen off the way. Oh god, I hit the mic. Okay. Alright, let's not break anything. Anyway, I'm actually, like how I've talked about, uh, I've organized the stories so that they flow through. And, so yeah, let me just get a little bit more comfortable. Alright, let's, talk about our first topic, which is actually a little bit of a big topic that I actually didn't see coming, and I should have seen it coming. Like, so obviously, students in the United States are really worried about the gun violence that is going on within schools, and since there are so many school shooting incidents, we're I'm like really glad and happy to see that some students have finally realized that for all of these other problems in the United States, people protest, people start huge campaigns and huge movements, and so students have actually started their own movement to protest against gun violence and to protest for gun violence prevention in Washington D.C. So this was a big event. It is still number one trending on Twitter. So many people are talking about it. So many people are glad to see students finally speaking out. And obviously, it's actually a really big event, and not just in it's not just gonna be in Washington D.C. I'm sure other students from different cities, different states, different counties will all start their own movements, and hopefully we will see a change from this. So once again, this article is by CNN Politics, and I will have it in the description below. I actually just update the description of the last Aero Show, and so yeah, let's zoom in so that is a bit readable, a bit more readable. Is that more good readable? Yeah. All right. Uh, okay. Washington D.C. March for Our Lives. The student-led movement focused on gun violence prevention returns to Washington in this weekend for a mass demonstration in the wake of recent shootings in Uvalde, Texas, and Buffalo, New York. So in Uvalde, Texas, is obviously related to that primary school in Uvalde, that shooting where I think around 22 students, pretty young students, I think all under grade 5, so pretty much primary school, were killed, and two teachers along with that. And Buffalo is obviously that God damn it, wait. Uh, the not school shooting. It is a supermarket shooting that happened in Buffalo, New York, that was racially motivated. And yeah, the DC March on Sunday afternoon at Washington Monument is set to feature a state of speakers pushing for action on gun violence. Rallies are also scheduled in more than 400 U.S. cities and nearly all 50 U.S. states on Saturday. After countless mass shootings and instances of gun violence in our communities, it's time to take back to the streets and march for our lives. The organization's website states. So there's an website. Okay. This was today? It's time to march for our lives. So obviously this is a website created to just raise awareness and give information about this movement, which is really huge. Like wow, that goes for on and on. So I'm glad to see there is some form of protest, especially by fellow students in the United States. So they should stop hating that. So yeah. Anyway, after the marchers come alongside a renewed push in the Congress for gun control. Lawmakers have been facing intense pressure to act in the wake of the recent mass shootings, and at least 10 Republicans need to vote with Democrats in order to clear the 60 vote threshold to break a filibuster and pass legislation. One second, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I really don't know what the hell that was, but uh, anyway, I just heard a huge noise outside and I went to check what the hell was that. So anyway, despite widespread GOP oppositions, Senate Chris Murphy of Connecticut, the lead Democrat in the bipartisan negotiation, told CNN he believes that there will be more than 10 Republicans supporting gun safety measures in the Senate. So once again, I'm glad that both the Democrats and the Republican Party can agree on the situation. I mean, we should all expect that. But anyway, I think we'll put together a package that will get more than 10 Republicans votes. He told CNN's John Berman on New Day on Thursday. March for Our Lives last held a rally in D.C. in 2018 following deadly shooting rampage at a Parkland, Florida high school. Survivors of the shooting delivered a resounding message that Washington's inaction on the scourge of gun violence is no longer acceptable. So it looks like this event did happen in the past as well. This is not the first time, and last time it was due to a shooting rampage in Parkland for a Florida high school. So yeah, to the leaders, skeptics, and cynics who told us to sit down, stay silent, and wait for your term, welcome to the revolution. Then, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas student. Wait, what? Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. So I think this is school. And student Cameron Kasky told the crowd in Washington at the time, either represent the people or get out. Stand for us or beware. So yeah, that is the end of the article. And to summarize, there is a new the March for Our Lives movement going on in Washington D.C. It was today, and yeah, I do believe that this event will not only raise a lot of awareness, but will hopefully uh, hopefully bring some positive reformance and that uh, limits gun violence in the United States. So yeah, there's that. This article is by CNN Politics, and I'll have this website and this article in the description. So I'll actually just copy it right now and save it. All right. So, moving on to our second topic, the United Kingdom is planning to burn billions of pounds worth of unusable plastic coming from personal protective equipment that was bought to protect people from COVID-19. So, in the beginning of the pandemic, the British government was a lot afraid of the virus than they are now, and not only were they developing masks, the N95 masks, they were also building full bodysuits, gloves, that visor thing that's supposed to go on your head caps and all of these different kind of pieces of cloths that go around your body to prevent you from touching or coming in contact with anything else. Because at that time there was very little research and a lot more fear of the virus. So pretty much no one wore it other than doctors and nurses who worked in hospitals and in COVID relief centers. So other than that, basically nobody wore this. Obviously, everyone wore masks, and some people like delivery drivers or cashiers, they did wear gloves, and some people did wear that visor. I don't personally know anyone who still does. So they invested a lot into this, and it was a waste of money, a waste of plastic. And so rather than reusing that plastic, which I can understand why they're not reusing that plastic, it may be maybe single-use plastic. It's unusable plastic, so it might be single-use plastic. So but combining it into other different things might not be possible. So so they've decided to start burning this for, I think, generating power. I don't know, but anyway, this article is by the Associated Press, and let's give it a quick read. Anyway, the UK plans to burn billions in wasted pandemic protective gear. It's not wasted. I wouldn't say it's wasted, but yeah, stuff like this, like eyewear and all of that. Let me just zoom in. And the British government plans to burn billions of pounds. What? Oh, British pounds. Okay, British pounds, dollars in unusable personal protective equipment purchased in haste during the COVID-19 pandemic, a public spending watchdog said Friday. The idea of burning the face masks, gowns, and other equipment to generate power has not impressed the watchdog committee. The panel is investigating how the government came to spend £4 billion on protective gear that has to be dumped because it's defective or does not meet UK standards. Okay, so this is gear that wearing gear that has to be dumped because it's defective or does not meet UK standards. Not because, okay, it is technically wasted or useless. But I thought everything because as the idea was the government thought that people are going to wear this to protect themselves from the virus, but not many, like virtually no one did. Like, well, you don't see anyone wearing a full hazmat suit with gloves and eye protection and that visor anywhere nowadays. You didn't even see it during the peak of the pandemic. So yeah, Parliament's Public Accounts Committee said the government planned to dispose 15,000 pallets a month of the gear via a combination of recycling and burning to generate power. Now, at least they are burning it to generate power, but still that is not justifiable. But I can understand for so much plastic that was generated because of this, and that has virtually no use. Whose you can think of a combination like compressing it and combining it to make other sorts of things, but maybe the plastic that they use might not be able to do that. Maybe melting it or in reusing it. If the entire if the British government says that the only option is burning, it might be because they haven't tried anything else, but I'm just assuming the best here. I think they've tried everything, and since this is single-use plastic, which is already barely reusable, I think the best option here is unfortunately to burn it, which obviously I am against. I feel like we wait to see if there are any advancements to where we can use that plastic to build something else in let's say school supplies or case framing or plastics that go or even other single-use plastics, but I don't know, there might be some complications that I don't know, and that's why this is not possible. But anyway, the cost and environmental impact of disposing the excess and unusable PPE is unclear, the committee noted. Pat Cohen, chief executive of the Royal College of Nursing, a professional body, accused the government of sending billions of pounds up in smoke. The government said not all the 4 billion pounds worth of equipment would be burned. The Department of Health said only about 670 million pounds or 835 million US dollars worth of the PPE was unusable in any context. This is either equipment that was worn or was poorly made, which is like non-reusable. So yeah, it said some of the excess stock will be repurposed to use by dentists or donated charities. Which charities will accept plastic gloves that break or are low quality? I don't know. Transport agencies in other countries. Now, transport agencies, I'm kind of thinking like outside plastic sheets that go on buses that you put graffiti and art on. Maybe that. I don't know what transport agencies will usually do of this, but at least there's some good of it where they're generating power, but that's just like fossil fuels, and in some cases it's extremely inefficient because 670 million pounds worth of fossil fuels will generate way more power than 670 million pounds of uh, plastic. So yeah, there's that. Now, obviously, burning it is not an option. I say we either wait or find other alternatives that we can put this plastic for. So yeah, that's just basically my opinion on it. If you want to read this article once again, I'll have it in the description. So go and check it out. And while you're down there, make sure to subscribe because why not? Anyway, there's that. That's just my opinion. I believe that there is some way that we can use this plastic, and if it is not, then we should wait until we can use this plastic for. But at least I'm glad that it's being burned to generate power. So yeah, speaking of burning stuff to generate power that is bad for the environment, let's talk about Biden's new plans to combat climate change. So ever since the President Biden took office in January of 2021, he's always been on the case of combating climate change by introducing or promising or planning new ways to combat climate change, and here's his latest plans, you can say. Anyway, this article is by Yahoo News. I'll have it in the description. So yeah, let's give it a quick read. I feel like my cough is getting worse day by day somehow. Anyway, Biden's on the verge of losing on climate change on Monday. Let me zoom in. Do you want to zoom in? It's at 300%. No, I want it at 175. You get out. No, go away. Go away. I don't want to watch your stupid ads. Go away. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. On Monday, fending off what threatened to be a crippling blow to the growth in the rooftop solar industry, President Biden announced a set of executive actions. What is that's a link? Biden takes aggressive executive action to protect solar industry expansion. When was this article written? June 6th, so it's a bit late. So let me try and summarize this. Can you go away? Just notice, okay, so this is basically solar industry expansion, and he's making, okay, whatever. Anyway, set of executive actions intended to protect the industry that, if it is unsuccessfully challenged in court, may be a modest success in Biden's effort to transition the U.S. economy into one that runs on clean energy. But such successes have never been fewer than what environmentalists had hoped for. Despite assuming office with what activists describe as the most ambitious climate change agenda in history, Biden has experienced a series of setbacks that threaten to leave him with a little progress on the issue, showing how hard he are contending with. Where was I? Contending with climate changes can be in a choke point for a federal system such as that of the United States. Yeah, I think President Biden is obviously the biggest president who has advocated and publicly spoken on making plans for combating climate change. I mean, obviously, he's the most recent president to do it because climate change is obviously taking effect now rather than not like 10, 20, 30 years ago. So obviously, there is that. He has experienced a series of setbacks that threaten him to leave with just little progress on the issue. The president is facing backsliding on almost every front in his fight against climate change. His clean energy proposals are stuck in the Senate. Surging oil and gas prices have even Democratic state governments cutting gasoline taxes, and the need to wean America's European allies off of Russian fossil fuels has led the administration to propose boosting gas exports. Also, a bill has passed by the House of Representatives could get in the way of offshore wind energy expansion. Meanwhile, the president's broad power to regulate under existing laws is being constricted. One federal court ruling forced him to sell new fossil fuel leases on federal lands and waters, and the Supreme Court is on the verge of limiting the Environmental Protection Agency (EPA's) ability to reduce carbon dioxide and most prevalent in greenhouse gases causing global warming. Okay, it's hard to be a glass half full. I think it meant to be half glass half full, half empty kind of person at this moment. Jake Schmidt, senior strategic director for international climate at the Natural Resource Defense Council, told Yahoo News. Every Monday's action in which Biden delayed any potential tariff on solar panels imported from four Asian countries that could dominate the U.S. market was more of a defense maneuver than a step forward from the status quo. A current Commerce Department investigation into whether China is circumventing U.S. tariffs on its solar panels via Cambodia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam was forcing solar installers to cancel orders because they feared being slapped with massive tariffs. Okay. Now they can get back into business. Biden also invoked the Defense Production Act to develop the domestic solar manufacturing industry, a move that may increase the rate of solar deployment further down the line. And obviously the stories continue, but basically what Biden is trying, is proposing different plans to the government and the ruling party, and they have not followed up or not backsliding facing backsliding on almost every front of his fight against climate change. And so yeah, I think either people are busy or they don't value climate change as big of a threat to the United States, even though it will grow in the future, and the best way to deal with it is to do something about it now. Now there are a lot more different issues going on in the United States, which we'll get into, and I think this has taken a little bit of a setback, or not a setback, a pushback. So yeah, there's that. I'll have this article in the description below, so if you want to share it with your friends, you can go ahead. So yeah, now let's talk about those important issues that the government has to solve. It's which the question of why gas prices are so high in the United States. So yeah, on yesterday's show we did talk about how gas prices have averaged $5 nationwide in the United States, and people are asking why. Why is this happening? So finally, so we do have an answer from experts, and we're gonna get into that. This article is written by Kron, I think that's how you say it. It's yeah. Let's just get into this. I need to stop hitting that. Like, I'm pretty sure that's gonna piss off a lot of people. Also, okay. Anyway, who decides how much gas costs? An expert explains the driving factors behind the current record high prices in the United States. Climate policy advocate Rolly Williams' YouTube video breaks down the reasons for the current surge in gas prices around the world. Now, how do I show that? Do we watch this? Uh, has it been linked anywhere? Actually, no, I don't think I would want to watch this. I think it might be protected and under copyright. I don't want to deal with that. But anyway, the average price of gasoline is supposed to hit $5 per gallon nationally in the U.S. in June, with current going rate paid by motorists sitting at an eye-burning $4.97. Texas is only faring marginally better at $4.62 per gallon as of Thursday. The alarming prices have been the subject of countless news stories over the last several months, and many have pointed to the war in Ukraine in or that Brandon. What is that Brandon? I don't know what the hell that is, and I don't want to get into that. But anyway, as the reason our palms sweat every time we pull into the gas station in 2022. The truth of that matter, however, is far more complex, as explained by Rolly Williams, the climate policy advocate behind the proper YouTube channel Climate Town, which specializes in illustrating the effects of climate change and its causes in the modern world. In his video, Who Actually Controls Gas Prices, William breaks down the main factors that determine the price of gasoline in the United States and the convoluted web of events and entities that influence them. William notes the price of gas is decided by four basic factors: distribution and marketing, roughly make up 14% of the cost of gasoline. Refining makes up another 14%. Federal and state taxes and fees rank second most influential at 60%. The greatest factor is, however, the price of oil, or tanking toppings spank juice, as William calls it. That's a nice name for the price of oil. Tank topping spank juice. That sounds American, bro. Anyway, coming in at 56% of the total price of gasoline, the going rate of Texas tea makes up the overwhelming portion of the cost paid by you, the consumer. Now, this William does make some factually correct points here. Distribution and marketing obviously does make up a lot of the cost. In transporting gas, such a flammable liquid across from the distributor to the fuel stations is extremely expensive. You have to take big trucks that have big, nice, heavy tanks. So the cost of that is obviously you have to pay for that, and then marketing, obviously refining, and converting crude oil into oil that can be used by our vehicles. That takes up another 14%. Federal and state taxes and fees, and obviously the price of that oil. That is what has increased in the last couple of months. So yeah, anyway, you slice it, the price of gasoline is just the global price of oil plus a handful of add-ons to get that oil to you. This is true and a really good way to say it, from getting to the drills, to the refineries, to to the company that owns the company that buys oil from them, to the distributor, then to the fuel stations, and then finally in your car. He says that America's addiction to gasoline has led the nation to import 9 million barrels of gasoline a day. 9 million barrels of gasoline a day. I mean, that would make sense since a lot of people in America drive. So yeah, barrels are chiefly supplied by countries that are members of OPEC, or the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. The members of the OPEC include Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, Iran, Iraq, and the United Arab Emirates, all of which determine collaboratively how much oil they are willing to pump and introduce to the global market. I'm gonna take a quick water break. Just give me a second. All right. So we all know that a majority of the petroleum exports comes from the United Arab Emirates, including Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, Iran, Iraq, and there are some smaller, smaller organizations in smaller countries like southeastern China, I think India, maybe North India, and maybe some in the EU, but most of it does come from the Middle East. So transporting that oil from the Middle East all the way to the United States is expensive. You mostly is done by and yeah, I don't think it's done by airlines. No, that will be way too expensive and way too dangerous. So I think majority of it is ground shipping, which is obviously expensive and it causes a lot of delays, and that adds to whole deal of stocking it. So yeah. Anyway, other nations affiliated with OPEC through an arrangement called OPEC Plus include Russia and Mexico, and these entities likewise participate in the organization's supply plan strategies. As such, the web of connections tied to the price of oil becomes complicated. Wars like the one between Russia and Ukraine cause fluctuations in the market, and supply and demand shift in accordance with microeconomic and macroeconomic conditions in countries all around the world. It is noted that during the early stages of the COVID-19 pandemic, global crude oil prices dropped into the negatives at one point, and American oil companies stopped drilling and laid off thousands of workers to start their bleeding profits. Since then, William explains US oil drillers that had received billions in pandemic era bailouts have maintained lean crews and dragged their feet on increasing oil production for one very specific reason: keeping prices high. Jeez, this article is really long. But anyway, as 2021 rolls around and a shaky recovery started, oil companies had a choice. They could choose to invest that money in drilling and hire back as like the people they laid off and increase supply, or they could not hire those people, not drill and restrict supply, pushing oil prices way up. And which one of those things you think oil companies did? It can take a long time to figure out what they did. William concludes by stating that the price of a gallon of gasoline, as it were, is at once controlled by everyone and no one, while a complex of web of individuals and actors with the ability to supply or not supply oils as they see fit, in accordance with shifting geopolitical and economic trade winds around the world. In this case, here is to an electric future, hopefully one with easily unlocked doors. So this is 100% true. The prices of gasoline obviously depend not just on one company, but rather multiple companies, multiple distributors, multiple people, multiple groups, and importantly, multiple countries. You think that the Shell is responsible for this because they are increasing oil prices, but no, they are decreasing production, which is increasing oil prices from not only from the distributors but to the few oil stations, and this is just a whole mess. And sadly, there is not a good fix to this other than to start drilling more oil to hope that it'll stabilize this highly and growing problem. And that is true. You can solve it by drilling more oil, hiring more people, decreasing inefficiencies, finding better ways to extract fuel from crude oil, and separating the different fuels, because crude oil is a mixture of different things, including cooking oil, not cooking oil, no, that's something else, gasoline, but also petrol, diesel, and low petroleum gas, and other many different things are in crude oil. And so separating that obviously will have inefficiencies, and to minimize that inefficiencies, obviously throughout throughout the centuries, throughout decades, there have been a lot of advancements, but still in a time like this, where it's you can call it a crisis. So yeah, I really hope that somehow the government manages is to stop this huge growing problem, especially during a time of this where people are traveling and gas is obviously a necessity. So yeah, anyway, those are my thoughts on the situation. And yeah, article is by Chrono will be in the description down below. So we're at so it is 12 o'clock, and yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, 11 more. All right. So uh, let me take a quick water break, and we'll get into an even bigger topic. We've been live for 45 minutes already. Man, time flies. Like I remember the first episode. Like it felt like it literally took an eternity. But just wasn't prepared for that. And now I've done this 3 times. It's becoming all right. So anyway, our next topic is related to inflation and people's response to the high rates of inflation in the United States. So obviously, last episode we talked about how inflation reached its highest in 40 years, reaching 8.2% in May, and how this is going to change the United States, the way of living, and how things are going to start costing more due to this inflation. And so yeah, we'll get to people's reactions and response and how they're going to deal with inflation, how they're going to respond to inflation, where they're going to invest, where they're going to spend, where they're not going to spend, and how much they're going to spend. Now, this is obviously a crucial time for people to start spending mindfully, responsibly spending, to make sure they're not spending too much for something that costs less, and trying to save as much money as possible so that they're not going to get screwed with buying or spending in something else. So yeah, anyway, this article is by CNBC. Lots of articles today are by CNBC. So yeah, I'll have them all in the description below. So here's what people to spend on as the inflation continues to surge. Let me just zoom in. Americans are still grappling with the worst. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, Americans are still grappling with the worst inflation in roughly 40 years, and many are changing their spending habits to keep up. In May, prices were 8.6 percent higher than they were a year ago, according to the Consumer Price Index X from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Some of the biggest drivers were increased costs associated with food, shelter, and energy. We also talked about how house prices were going down, but still food prices have increased over the years, and basically living costs have increased over the years. Due to these price increases, 61% of the Americans said that they're worried about their financial situation, according to a survey of more than 1,000 adults. So out of 1,000 adults, 610 people said that they are worried. Okay, conducted by Toluna. I think it's an organization, a voting organization. Not a voting, a polling organization from March 23rd to 20. Wait, this was 2 months ago. And still it was that bad. Now it's like, it'll be like high 90s. So anyway, many Americans now expect they'll have to spend more on a range of purchases, from personal care and home improvements to experiences such as vacations. So where Americans expect to spend more as inflation continues. Holidays is obviously the highest at 35%. Cleaning products is next with 33. Home improvements or maintenance, or buying or upgrading furniture, buying or upgrading different things that are related to home, 32%. Buying a car, 27%. I'm really surprised that one is low, because nowadays public transport is obviously declining like that. So I think the maintenance, and not only in India where I can experience it personally, but in in the United States, I think relying on public transport is becoming a really bad idea. So I'm surprised buying a car is a little bit low. But anyway, entertainment and subscriptions is also the same as we're actually that one's a little bit higher. And then investing, obviously due to the entire investing craze and investing hype that the internet has built over the years, and school supplies made it for some reason. So I don't think the prices of school supplies is necessarily so why you're spending now on books so that you don't get screwed over later. So anyway, just like any other time you have to change a situation, and such as a change in your job or you're planning to buy a home, it's a great time to review your expenses for the past 3 to 6 months. Now, like I said, I don't think 3 to 6 months. I think every month reviewing your expenses and keeping track of your expenses, and make sure you're not spending too much or spending too little in areas that um, require more, and make sure you're not spending too much in areas that require less. So I think managing your expenses, especially during a time like now, not only just in the United States, but I recommend, and looking at your expenses, looking at your statement from your bank for the past 30 days, and just look at what you're spending on. And maybe you might notice a subscription to an online service that you don't usually use, or um, mysterious charges that come on your bank account, or maybe you don't need such high of a phone plan, or maybe you need a little bit of a faster internet connection, or maybe you're spending a little bit too much on outside food, or maybe you're spending too much on house maintenance or groceries or whatever. And keeping all of that in check, and keeping managing your expenses, especially during times like this, is I think very vital. And so yeah, um you said well, my friend. So anyway, certified financial planner, founder of blah 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 blah. So yeah, anyway, how do I adjust? Doing just an audit of your recent spending can help you ensure you who know where your money is going, and recalibrate if it's being directed away from your financial goals. Okay, that's the better version of what I just said. Anyway, because inflation is putting up prices so rapidly, I may suggest checking in with your spending and revising your budget frequently. It's not just a question of spending too much. It's the goal of spending properly, spending responsibly, and spending efficiently. If you can find, let's say, outside food from a cheaper place that is equally, either healthy or tasty or just better for you, I say go for that. And if you find a cheaper internet service, or a cheaper phone service, or a cheaper house maintenance service, or a different Walmart where groceries are cheaper, I think it's not the question of spending too less. I'm not saying that, hey, you should cancel all of your spending. I'm just saying the money that you have, even if it's a lot of money, or even if it is a little bit lower, I think properly managing it, because you're just helping yourself. You're not really helping anyone else. I mean, you're helping other people instead of people you've already been helping. But anyway, yeah, there's that. Plan it out a couple of months of a time, maybe not a couple of months. I say every month. Like, you just sit down one Tuesday night. Anyway, because inflation is so broad-based, many people have to get creative in finding ways to trim their budgets. Emilio noted that he's seen clients cancel some subscriptions, as well change their grocery shopping list, buying more generic items instead of brands, to swapping pricier steak for less expensive steak, or even foregoing meat entirely. Clients are saying, I was getting this fancy milk, but I'm fine with getting the grocery brand milk, he said. People are totally making these things up of totally making these types of decisions to make it fit within their budget. The good news is that many consumers are already making the spending changes they need to adjust to rising prices. More than half of Americans said they are willing to try new brands of foods and drinks, cleaning supplies, and personal care products to keep costs down, and about a quarter have already made a switch, according to the Toluna survey. So yeah, this article goes on and on. Actually, doesn't go completely on and on. But anyway, my basically my opinion is, once again, I'm not offering financial advice. I'm not gonna be held responsible for anything I say. But I'm just saying, I mean, anything I say is just common sense. Yeah, just spend wisely, spend responsibly, not spend less, but that money that you're spending, make sure you're getting the most off of it. That's what I'm trying to say. There are many ways to manage your finances. The obvious is just opening Notepad and just typing out everything, and then making sure everything. But there are apps that you can use. There you can also switch to not no not switch to different bank accounts, but use different different money laundering services. And yeah, there's that. Just manage your finances. It'll help you in the long term. So yeah, anyway, there's that, and that took half an hour. Anyway, I'm just gonna quickly go through the hotel section and the Russia with Ukrainian the Ukraine war stuff, because we don't really have time. Last episode I got tired and didn't finish anything. But anyway, and now we're gonna talk about hotels and why hotel prices are going up in the United States. So it's now summertime in the United States. It's June, so that's usually summertime, and kids are let off for the summer vacation, and usually parents are also have some free time in the summer vacation, and we're all going out. And so obviously the hotel business in summertime is going to be booming. Hotels are going to be booked, rooms are going to be booked. There are going to be tons of different guests and visitors and tourists and all of that. And there has been a trend that is going on in the US where hotel prices are going up. So we're going to get into that. This article is also once again by CNBC, and yeah. Why Marriott, Hilton, and Hyatt say hotel prices are only going up. Marriott and Hilton are two of the biggest and most recognizable hotel industries in the United States. They have multiple different hotels all through the United States, and Hyatt is not well known, but is definitely well known in the South and closer to urban cities and beaches. So yeah. Hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic, the hotel industry has bounced back alongside the larger travel industry thanks to pent-up demand, delayed trips, and increased consumer savings. So obviously in the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, 2021, people have stopped traveling in fear of the virus, and obviously due to restrictions and the pandemic and everything else, the travel industry I think was hit the worst by the COVID-19. Yeah, I think it did. I think the travel industry, the hotel industry, the tourist industry, they were hit the hardest due to this, and finally they're now bouncing back due to pent up demand, which is like, I'm sick and tired of staying at home, I want to go out. Which at every point, every person who has been through this pandemic has obviously experienced, staying at home, working from home for almost 2 years. You want to just go out, and now people are 2 years later, when COVID-19 has slowed down a little bit. Obviously, it's not gone, and I still don't recommend and to travel, or I do recommend to travel safely and not to big hi-fi cities with lots of people. So yeah, anyway, that hard market has led to rising room prices, something major hotel chains executives will say now will not go down soon. A recent Biden administration decision to repeal COVID-19 testing requirements for inbound international travelers shall only further boost demand. So yeah, we did talk about this. This was actually one of the first topics we covered in the last episode, where airliners were asking the Biden to remove the mandatory mandatory COVID tests that are required before or international travelers before departure. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, anyway, despite high inflation, a softening economy, and fears of a recession, the hotel industry is not seeing any slowdown. It's the exact opposite, with Hilton CEO Chris Nassetta predicting that the hotel chain will have its biggest summer we have ever seen in our 103-year history. Hilton has been out since 1919. Few industries were hit as hard as has travel by the COVID-19 pandemic, which curbed nearly all leisure and business travel plans. But as vaccination rates and loosened restrictions have spread across the country, travelers have returned and made global leisure and business flights top 2019 levels for the first time since the pandemic started. But that comes with costs driven by both the high level of demand from fellow travelers as well as other inflammatory pressures pressures, hotel operators still believe that there is room to further increase prices. The price has gone up for everything, so we're not different than when you go to a gas pump or a grocery store or other aspects of a life. Is discretionary. Well, that's not a good argument. Like, oh, hey, everything is bad, so we're bad. That's not a good argument. And be like, oh, everything is like that, so we can also be like that. No, just because everything has high prices now doesn't mean you get to increase your high prices. That's not a justifiable reason for anything that matter. Nasida said the two things were keeping demand high: the leisure consumer more than $2.5 trillion in incremental savings and strong corporate balance, and she's paired with very good profitability. So yeah, this article goes on to about the profit margins and everything that comes with prices and everything and a lot of people talk about this. IHG is talking about this. So yeah, this article goes on and on, and you can read it. So my summary is basically hotel prices are going up. This is due to not only inflation and not only the high prices of everything else, but it's also due to a lot of people are traveling more in the pandemic, but traveling more in 2022 compared to the last 2 years. So yeah, that's why the prices are going up, and yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. It's not a valid argument to be like, hey, everything is going up, so we can also increase our prices. No, that's stupid. Anyway, speaking of the hotel industry, we're talking about the automation boom in the hotel industry. So it was before, before the technology's advancement thing happened, um, especially in the late 90s or early 2000s. There wasn't much automation in the hotel industry. I mean, very, very few hotels in maybe like downtown New York had online booking. But now, obviously, nowadays everyone does online booking. Very few of us actually go into a hotel and ask for a reservation. Where, in fact, I don't think anyone does. I don't think most hotels even allow that. Maybe some old school hotels or our luxury hotels might allow that, but now most business hotels else are primarily driven by online bookings and online booking sites. That's one automation that I have noticed. The second automation is room service. Actually, no, that's not really automation, but we'll get into this. Alright, this article is also by CNBC, and oh yeah, let's just get into this. Behind the automation boom coming to the hotel industry for 24-hour check-in. I forgot about that. Yeah, so before the normal rule was hotels close at 10:30 and only open after 6 in the morning. But now 24-hour check-ins. This is not only due to 12-hour midnight shifts that hotels are offering for their hotel staff, but 24 check-ins via some form of verification program. I think different hotels will have different ways to texting for towels. So I think they are implementing a different form of room service where you text for what you want. I think you text a number or you text on a little bit on our app or a good GUI or something. But anyway, for years, hotel operators have invested in technology. This is true. You've seen the state of the like the laundry machines, pathetic. Anyway, but and also don't get me started on Wi-Fi. Actually, it is 12:16. Do I go on a rant about Wi-Fi? You know what? Screw it. Hotel Wi-Fi is the worst thing to ever exist. Actually, no. I'm gonna switch to a face cam with this. I don't think because this is like one of the things where I can actually like relate for stuff that is supposed to be going on. But anyway, my point is hotel Wi-Fi is so bad. It's so bad. And you know what the main problem for this is? For a specific like branch, for like a specific area, there might be just one access point that covers 20-30 feet, and that access point might be in only certain rooms. So if you're far away from the access point, not only is your connection going to be obviously unreliable, but it's going to be slow as fuck. And that is, like, I don't understand why hotel Wi-Fi. It's like, oh, we have free Wi-Fi, but no, the Wi-Fi is literal shit. It is so bad. Like, I've always hated hotel Wi-Fi, and I've always used data. But in cases like resorts, where cellular data is there's not much I can't talk. There's not much cellular range. So you have to rely on that absolute god awful whole Wi-Fi, and that's one problem. One is the range. Since there's like one access point for 40 people to share, people will be 30, 40, hundreds of feet away from the router and barely get a 1 bar of signal. And there's a second problem, is that these Wi-Fi are they all have to share some bandwidth, and most Wi-Fi places, like, I've done this test before where like midnight where barely no one is using the Wi-Fi, I will get around 30 megabits per second. But during the day when we have tons of people, they have to share that 30 Mbps bandwidth, and usually we'll have 30 Mbps for like 6 people, so it'll be like 30, 60, 90. There'll be like 300 megabits per second, but no Wi-Fi internet service provider is gonna provide bandwidth for more than 6 devices, and in a hotel there are a lot more than 6 people. So when more people start to share the Wi-Fi, the overall speed of the Wi-Fi drops, and when you have a fully packed hotel with literally dozens of people connected to the same Wi-Fi network, not only is a security risk, because you can share malware over that. If it gets compromised, everyone in that who's connected to that network is vulnerable. So not only is it a security risk, it's utterly stupid, because the speed is going to drop and it's going to be unusable. If you have 30 Mbps allocated for 6 users, if you have 12 users connected to the Wi-Fi, that drops to 15. If you have 24, it'll drop to 7.5. If you have 48, it's going to drop to 3. Then if you have 100 people, it's going to be 1 megabit per second. And in some cases, it's not going to be that full max 30 Mbps. Not only is it's going to be affected by range, because the farther you go away from the router, the connection becomes slower. That's why when you place your phone on your router and run a speed test, the speed is going to be extremely high. But if I, like, for example, in my case, I have half a gigabit. So when I place my phone on the router, it's going to be around 450 Mbps. But once I am in a bathroom or once I'm outside, it's going to drop down to 150, 140 Mbps. That's not because the range sucks. It's 4 bars. But that's because that signal has to travel through walls, through curtains, through stuff, and get to you. And it gets worse when you have rooms with walls and beds and stuff that's gonna absorb that signal. And when you're at the end of the hallway, it's going to be so bad. The signal is gonna be bad, and that's gonna affect your speed. And the speed is also going to be bad during peak hours, when literally so many people are connected. People are writing emails, people are watching videos, and we all have to share that bandwidth. So this is why I always make sure that every hotel I go has a dedicated access point, with that access point completely for me. No one else can access it, unless if I give them the password. And some hotels do have that. Like, I think this is a very regional thing. But compromising on Wi-Fi to the point where it is unusable, and then marking it as oh, we have free Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is shit. If it wasn't free, I wouldn't argue anybody would pay for it. Like, it's been 10 years since Wi-Fi is officially hit, national nationality. I think everywhere almost every home has a Wi-Fi connection. Every business has a Wi-Fi connection. Why is hotel Wi-Fi still bad? You know, airplane Wi-Fi, you kind of justify. Oh, you're 40,000 feet in the air. Of course, the connection is gonna be trash. The ping is gonna be worse. But you're on ground. You have a router, or you have easily availability to make that Wi-Fi better. But no, they cheap out on it, and it is unusable. Like, I don't know why people cheap out on this and then call it, hey, oh, it's free Wi-Fi. And then when you go to the reception and complain, hey, the Wi-Fi is not usable, I literally am getting kilobytes per second. They're like, oh, we're sorry, we can't do anything about that. If something is not useful, then it shouldn't be a selling point. Oh, come to our hotel, we have got free Wi-Fi, except, oh wait, the Wi-Fi is literal trash. Like, it just blows my mind how such stupid things hotels cheap out on, and like, it just destroys the user experience, because you expect, oh, nice Wi-Fi, except, oh wait, it's 2 bars on my bed and literally no connection when I'm sitting in the balcony. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll sit on my bed and I'll watch, but oh wait, it is garbage. And let's talk about the security implementations. So most like big brand hotels that I think are in India use like a website authentication system, where if you connect to the Wi-Fi, it'll redirect you to a web page, and on that web page you have to insert like a username and a password, and that username and password only is given to you when you go and ask them. And sometimes they will say it to you, and then you have to, they'll recite it to you, and you have to tell that. Like, why? What is this stupid thing? Just give me the Wi-Fi password. Like, no, I'm not going to go and distribute it to the entire population of Venezuela or something, but no. And then they have this stupid, oh, after 24 hours your Wi-Fi thing will be deactivated and I have to reactivate it again. Like, why? Like, it literally costs barely nothing. Like, imagine, like 4 new Wi-Fi connections will cost around 1,000 rupees in my country. So like 4,000 rupees in my country, so, or about, I don't know, 200 bucks in your country, in the United States. That's like nothing for a hotel, especially for a high-end hotel, a business hotel. And I really wish people talk about this in reviews, because people are like, oh, we go, it has, nice rooms, it's got a nice bath, a nice closet, but they don't mention the Wi-Fi. And I get it. You don't go there to watch 14 hours of Netflix, or, go and play Apex Legends and competitively. You go there to enjoy. Right, but when you have Wi-Fi, it should be usable. I don't know if this is different in business hotels. I don't really stay much in business hotels. I just go to consumer hotels. But anyway, there's that. That is that rant completed. Hotel Wi-Fi sucks. I hate hotel Wi-Fi, and they better improve it if they're gonna charge more. Alright. I think that's enough. I'm gonna just take some water, and we'll get back into our regularly scheduled program. Alright. Let's move on. Alright, we have two stories about Russia and Ukraine, and then 2 more stories about our economy, and then we'll get into the juicy stuff. Whew, man, I'm pissed off. Like I don't want to shout or like rant like really loudly because once again it's 12:27 in the morning and I really don't want to deal with shit. But anyway, let me take a quick water break. Whew. Okay, I'm pissed off. I'm like actually genuinely mad, but anyway. Alright, let me just cool off a little bit and then we'll get into this. This is supposed to be like a break for me where I just talk about stuff, but I'm actually like genuinely pissed off at how bad hotel Wi-Fi is. It's okay. Alright, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's not drag the same stupid shit again. Okay. We have some news regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. Russia is able to control East Ukraine due to greater firepower, but is struggling to control areas in southern Ukraine. This article is by the New York Times, and all right. Ukraine live updates. Russia wields greater firepower in the east, but signs emerge of discord, which is I forgot what the actual meaning of discord is. Failure in south. I like it's kind of funny like how Discord's real meaning is something related to failure, but whatever. Anyway, there are some indications that Moscow is struggling to govern areas in southern Ukraine that its forces occupy. The U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd J. Just Austin III, I swear this is the king's name, but anyway, said the war was offered a preview of the possible world of chaos and turmoil. Oh God, why do they show pictures of car open caskets? Why? Anyway, who wants to see that? Who? The degenerates? No. Anyway, here are the latest developments in the war in Ukraine. The first days of adrenaline-fueled Ukrainian resistance that led to early victories in driving back Russian forces from around Kiev and other northern cities are giving away to a gloomier mood as Ukraine's troops struggle to maintain a hold in the east, even as Russia races to solidify gains in the south. The most immediate battlefield threat is in the east, where Ukrainian troops are outgunned, running out of ammunition, and awaiting Western weapons that they said are not coming nearly fast enough. Kyiv has expressed concern that war fatigue could be seen in both at home and abroad, and the Biden administration is struggling to expand the alliance of nations imposing sanctions that have hurt but not crippled Russia's economy. Now, the alliance of nations imposing sanctions that may have hurt but not crippled Russia's economy. Well, there have already been enough sanctions, I think, put on Russia. Like basically every major restaurant chain, every major like major technological companies, um, major investing companies have all opted out of Russia, and some countries have are not issuing visas or I think not passport but visas to Russian like nationalists and the higher Russian class. So this is the case of asking more, but whatever. I guess. All right. As was that it? No, this article is actually really long. As the Russians close in, civilians in Lysychansk must decide whether they want to stay or go. Between the loud thuds of artillery shells landing in a few blocks away, dozens of people emerged from a communal shelter in this eastern Ukrainian city on Saturday to receive packets of food from a red armored van crewed crewed by a group of volunteers. It was the first aid they had seen in months. Lysychansk, an industrial city with with a pre-war population of around 100,000, is quickly becoming the focal point of Russia's slow and methodical advance in the Ukraine's east. Russian forces have seized most of the neighboring city of Severodonetsk, as well as after weeks of vicious street fighting and artillery duels. Lysychansk lies just across the Severodonetsk River and will likely be the next city the Russian army will try to capture. Through much of Lysychansk has been evacuated, many residents remain. They are staying put as the enemy draws near for many of the same reasons voiced by people who have refused to leave other towns and cities in Ukraine since Russia invaded in late February. A lack of money, nowhere to go, fear of looting, and the need to care for disabled or elderly relatives. But in Lysychansk, a city in Ukraine's resource-rich and predominantly Russian-speaking Donbas region, the complaint that the Ukrainian government has abandoned in them to the advancing Russian forces is also present. It is a narrative harped on by Moscow's propagandists. Your Kiev government gave up on us, said one older woman before she received a white bag of food from the back of the van. Her words echoed a Russian radio broadcast that aired for Lysychansk citizens, a recording of which one of the volunteers shared with the reporter. For months, residents have been cut off from the cell phone networks because they were damaged by fighting, as well as from gas, water, and electricity systems. They are bound to the daily routines that they must go through to survive, bringing water from nearby wells, building fires to cook food. Until about a month ago, they used to stand in the line for days at a time at an aid center just to get bread, they said. Then the center was destroyed by a Russian missile. One of the volunteers, Mikhailo Dobrishman, said that it was his 10th trip to Lysychansk in recent weeks. The volunteers have a list of addresses from people outside the city who have asked them to find out whether their relatives in Lysychansk were still alive, he said. As we hand out the packs of food, we try to persuade them to evacuate, he said. There are 20 people who left requests for evacuation today, but it's really hard to persuade others that we made on our way, even if they're staying with small kids. One teenager at the shelter who wore a yellow t-shirt and said her name was Victoria tried to convince her mother to leave, but her volunteers had told her that her boyfriend had asked them to evacuate her and he was waiting for her in the safer region. For 15 minutes, the mother and daughter debated in front of the industrial building with used as a communal shelter, while several artillery shells whistled over their heads. Then they rushed to pack their belongings and try and urge other relatives to join them. So it is good that people are actually willing to leave and are not resisting and trying to stay either via patriotism or nationalism, or trying to protect their as a way to protect their country. And it's good that they are being evacuated, hopefully into a safer region. In the street near the central, there were freshly dug rectangular holes in the ground. These are trenches, Mr. Dobrishman said. They are getting ready for the street fights. But all the neighbors said they believed the holes were graves for people to be expected to be killed by shelling. It is unclear how many civilians have been killed or wounded in Lysychansk by Russian bombardments. A few houses away from a shelter, a man nearly lost his leg after a shell landed in his yard, residents said. Not far from the center was a Soviet-style apartment block occupied by Ukrainian soldiers. The troops' vehicles were parked underneath the tree-lined alleyway to avoid detection from Russian drones overhead. Outside the building, a military doctor named Sergei, who had arrived in Lysychansk from a few days later with a Ukrainian unit, said they were bracing for an assault. We will do everything possible so that Russians don't capture the city, he said, calmly declining to give his last name for security reasons. Having served in several frontline cities of Ukraine, in different frontline cities of Ukraine since the beginning of the invasion, the doctor said he could not explain why so many people chose to stay in a city that had been shelled incessantly for weeks. People are riding bicycles here, children are running around, he said. Maybe they want to evacuate because they're waiting for the other side to come. Now, the idea of people roaming freely around in an area that is close to a battlefield, you can say, is really concerning. Because at one point, I'm, unprecedented attacks can just come and just innocent people will die just for being spotted. Lura, 52, an energetic woman who had emerged from the communal center where about 50 people saying said she was resolved to remain. This is our Ukrainian land. We were born and spend our lives. This is my land, and whoever comes to take it will die here. So, okay. Once again, the people who are remaining are, are staying, still staying in these highly dangerous areas are because, as they want to support their country. They, just don't want to give it up and fight for their country and nationalism and patriotism, all of that. Which is still concerning. Like you can always you expect that from residents who have stayed in Ukraine for so long, but not to an extent of this much. And I really hope these people will take the decision to move to a better and safer place, arguably as fast as possible. So yeah. Anyway, Biden's claim that Zelensky didn't want to hear warnings about invasion hits a nerve in Ukraine. Ukrainian officials on Saturday publicly rejected President Biden's claim that President Zelensky didn't want to hear clearly warnings of about a Russian invasion. Mrs. Zelensky's high-profile wartime leadership has won praise in home and abroad, but criticism has also been quietly brewing in Ukraine over his government's preparations for war and his public comments discounting an imminent invasion just days before it happened. The issue Mr. Biden touched on with a remark on Friday. President Zelensky, arguing for Ukraine's case to join the European Union, said approval for its application would possibly positively answer whether the European project has a future at all. The European project certainly cannot compete without us, without Ukraine, he told reporters after meeting with a European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in the capital. Ukrainian officials say shelling has damaged power lines in the eastern Donetsk region, forcing the shutdown of electricity substations. The largest cities in Ukrainian held Donetsk, including Kramatorsk, Sloveniansk, and Bakhmut, are without power, the head of the Donetsk region military administration said on Telegram. NetBlocks, which tracks internet censorship, recorded a drop in connectivity in Donetsk. So yes, there are tons of updates, and these are obviously the recent ones that we have managed to cover here, and also there are more, and this is constantly being updated. So you just have to copy this, change the date to be today's date, and you will have the latest updates in the Russia v Ukrainian war. Okay, next, arguably kind of expected actually compared to Russia and their whole area of recruitment. And Russia is handing out passports to people in cities and areas that they have control over. So Russia and forces are going around to people and handing out passports for them to convert or officially, like unofficially, officially migrate to Russia. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that. This article is by the BBC. It is 12:40, and we are on Article 9 and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more. Okay, we can do this. Come on. I believe in myself. Russia hands out passports in occupied Ukrainian cities. That is not much readable. The Russian occupation authorities in southern Ukraine said they have started handing out Russian passports to locals in two cities, Kherson and Mariupol. Ukraine condemns the creation of Russian citizens on its territory as Russification. To be honest, that's not that bad of a merge, but it's pretty bad. But anyway, President Vladimir Putin is fast tracking on the procedure. Russia's TASS news agency said that the first 23 Kherson residents got Russian passports at a ceremony on Saturday. TASS says thousands have applied for them, but its claim cannot be verified. Thousands of people, no. That's just propaganda bullshit. But anyway, the Russian appointed military governor in Kherson, Vladimir Zaldo, said all our Khersonite comrades want to receive the passport and Russian citizenship as soon as possible. Ukraine denounced the move as a flagrant violation of its territorial integrity, saying President Putin's decree was legally void. The policy follows Russia's distribution of passports to residents of Ukrainian regions its forces have occupied since 2014, Crimea and much of the Donbas regions. Russia annexed Crimea and created self-styled People's Republics in Donetsk and Luhansk, moves condemned internationally. Okay, so this move was condemned internationally. This is poorly worded, but anyway. Ukraine now fears the same procedures underway in areas seized by the Russian forces in the current invasion. Once locals became Russians, the Kremlin can claim it has to protect them. There are reports of Ukrainians defying Russian order to use ruble instead of the Ukrainian currency Hirvinia. Ryvinia. Okay, I don't know what it's called in Kherson. Melitopol is the southeastern Zaporizhia region, in most of which now held by Russian forces, including Europe's biggest nuclear power station. In Crimea and Russian-based Donbas, the industrial region made up of Donetsk and Luhansk, Russia has introduced the ruble and forced schools to adopt to the Russian curriculum. It has also ousted local officials appointed by Kiev and repeated such action in the newly occupied areas. Heavy fighting continues to rage in the Donbas region of Severodonetsk. The Kiev-appointed head of Luhansk said he highlights as Ukrainian forces are still holding the city's industrial zone, including the huge Azot chemical plant. In other developments, Ukraine's army is running low on artillery shells as it battles against intense Russia's bombardments. A southern Ukrainian governor says Vitaly Kim of the Mykolaiv region said the Russian army is much more powerful. He urged Ukraine's Western allies to speed up delivery of long-range artillery and ammunition. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen met President Vladimir Zelensky in Kyiv for a second time to discuss Ukraine's request for EU membership. She said, "You have done a lot in strengthening the rule of law, but there is still need for reforms to be implemented to fight corruption, for example." She said the EU will decide next week whether Ukraine should be given candidate status, the next step in the long process to becoming EU member. Russia is restoring to heavy anti-ship missiles in the ground attacks against Ukraine, which are highly inaccurate, UK military analysts say. They believe Russia is running short of precision cruise missiles and other high-tech weapons have been having used so much lately. So, okay, so a little bit of a recap. Ukraine is like on the losing, currently on the losing side of this war, and they are wishing that the United States speeds up its delivery process for new ammunition and new artillery. The Russian forces are handing out passports for people to convert and become a Russian citizen, and obviously there is some chance that people are converting and becoming Russian citizens, but not thousands of them. There is absolutely no way. That's why it cannot be verified, because it's not true. So yeah, there is that. Anyway, I'll have this article in the description below, and then I think that is it for all of the kind of like. Oh no, we have two more. Oh wait, this is related to the economy. Okay, it is 12:46. I think I want to take a break. So this is no, this is these two are pretty short stories. This one is a pretty long one, and this one is these two are pretty short ones. So I think I'll just take a 5-minute break, and I think I'll be right back. Oh my god, I'm not tired. I'm just tired. Alright, I'm back. That was what, a 5 minute break, but anyway. Okay, my mic is working. Alright, let's move on to our 10th story. Hey, Ethereum falls to its lowest point. And why is that? What the fuck happened? Hello? Why did my... Why did the quality just suddenly drop to shit? Okay, there we go. It's back. So anyway, Ethereum fell to its lowest point in 15 months, and Bitcoin dropped $29,000. Dropped to $29,000 to the inflation. I'm just uh badly worded, but anyway, this article is by Bitcoin.com, and I haven't covered any news regarding cryptocurrencies before, and that's because I didn't see much that happen. I mean, obviously stuff goes up, stuff goes down, stuff goes really down. Anyway, crypto prices plunged as the weekend commenced following yesterday's U.S. inflation report, which climbed to a 40-year high of 8.6%. Ethereum fell to its lowest point in 15 months, while Bitcoin dropped below $29,000. Following days of consolidation, that text is barely readable to me, and I argue it's... Why is it thin? Alright. Following days of consolidation, Bitcoin finally moved late on Friday to Saturday as crypto prices responded to the latest inflation report. Data from the US shows that inflation came in at a 40-year high of 8.6, which is higher than the 8.3 many had expected. As such, investors seem to have panicked and in turn liquidated some of their positions in crypto markets. I can't speak. Oh god, the fatigue is already humming. Anyway, so liquidating is just another term for dropping a lot. Dropping a lot of a lot of I can't speak. Dropping down or withdrawing a lot of the cash that you invested, and that causes the value of Bitcoin to drop. Bitcoin in the US dollars fell to an intraday low of $28,911.36. It started this weekend, taking prices to the weakest point in almost 2 weeks. Despite the drop, prices still remain above support at $28,800. However, some expect the sell-off to intensify as the weekend progresses. Should we see the 14-day RSI move before its current support of 40.50, then we could see the expectation come into fruition. Saturday saw Ethereum fall to its lowest point in over a year as prices of the world's second largest cryptocurrency plunged. As to start the weekend, Ethereum fell by nearly $300, hitting a bottom of $1,583 earlier in today's session. This is the lowest level prices that have hit since March of last year, and comes as prices broke out of support at $1,720. So yeah, that was pretty big. And obviously, this is due to the inflation. You can see many investors panic and quickly selling all of their stocks that they have, that causes this huge drop. And then these are investors being like, okay, now this is the type to invest. Oh wait, no, wrong time. It's gone down, and then it's gone up, and then it's gone down, and gone a little bit up, and now has finally gone down and hit a new low in over a year. Following days of consolidation, prices also waned in, with the RSI seeing its floor of 36 easily broken. As of Friday, the indicator is now tracking at 30.96, which is closer to a lower support layer of 29.30. Like Bitcoin, some expect prices of Ethereum to fall lower in the coming days. Oh god, what did I do? Interesting. I can't hear anything. What the fuck? Hold on. Let me. Really hope I can hear myself now. Okay. So what I was saying was, and now my mic is actually working. I actually did verify that. So what I was saying was, I yesterday, no, day before yesterday on last show we did cover the Eggman's video getting struck down for sexual content, and it was due to a really dumb joke that we covered. But just after that, the Ackman's entire YouTube channel was demonetized, and I meant to cover that yesterday in yesterday's show, but I completely forgot. So this time I'm just gonna recap for everyone else. This article is by Sportskita. I'll have it in the description below. It's This is what I meant to say yesterday. It is official. YouTube has now stepped to a new low. The Ackman's channel has been completely demonetized and is about to be removed from the YouTube's partner program. The Ackman has been a part of the YouTube community for about 7 years now, and all his work and loyalty to the platform has been seemingly ignored in his channel in grave peril. YouTube has failed to enforce its terms of service and the Ackman's latest video outlining the abuse of TOS and the copyright system by Quantum TV has been pulled from the platform. The Ackman tweeted, "Other content creators are being attacked by YouTube because of me. Don't care if my YouTube channel is banned anymore. Martyr me for Cordis die. Keep the revolution alive. Justice for Ackman." Now, we did talk about how this hashtag blew up. It is still trending today. I can open up Twitter, and if I go to news, it is still trending. Even all of this shows how big of a screw up this is by YouTube. If I go to news, it better still be trending. Are you kidding me? For me. It was just trending now. What happened to it? But anyway, if I just type hashtag like justice for Ackman, is okay, it's no longer trending. It was just trending a couple hours ago, but it is still being talked about because 37 seconds ago, 40 seconds ago, this is a stupid joke. Oh, that YouTube got banned. That YouTube took down the video for. So anyway, there's no way to tell whether Quantum TV had this video removed, but the connection is clear as day. The Ackman's Dark Age of YouTube was pulled for deliberately promoting nudity, which is a baseless accusation, as the video just spoke about YouTube's shortcomings in Quantum TV's content. This attack on a beloved channel like the Ackman that has provided quality content over the years is unfair. There is no excuse as to why YouTube defends Quantum TV, which is even stranger considering it's Pride Month, and Quantum TV has used hateful language when talking about that LGBTQ plus community. Now, about this, he said, yeah, this is actually true. He said that there should be, that Y bar incident. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's what should happen to the people of the LGBTQ community. So anyway, YouTube has failed to uphold the TOS that it stands for, and has completely failed its content creators who have literally given years of quality content to this platform. How it all started and how YouTube's complete mismanagement of YouTuber uh, of a situation led to Quantum TV running rampant of the platform. This is a video that I watched by Mischief, and this was the video that Quantum TV made about Elden Ring. So Quantum TV just made a video about Elden Ring. The Ackman, he made a response to it, critiquing it, and this dude took it down, and then that started, and that spawned in the video of called the Dark Age of YouTube, and then that was taken down, and now it's demonetized. This all began in March when Quantum TV posted his hilariously bad take on Elden Ring. He made some statements that weren't exactly logical. His opinions about Elden Ring were filled with hate, including mine, but which other content creators critiqued in their videos. Quantum TV is also a known copyright abuser on YouTube. He has used the copyright system on multiple occasions to take down videos from other channels on the platform with impunity. There is still no rule or system in place that protects other content creators on YouTube from creators like Quantum TV. After his hilarious yet idiotic take on Elden Ring, small-time YouTuber Mischief made a video detailing all of Quantum TV's statements. Using other creators' videos which fall under the fair use law and is completely legal so long as the creator makes something original with the content that they have borrowed. Quantum TV flagged the 17-year-old Mischief's video for a copyright strike and has systematically done this throughout the years. Any sort of criticism against Quantum TV is met with the copyright strike, and YouTube has done nothing to Quantum TV and other copyright abusers. The Ackman provides indisputable proof of the Quantum TV's actions. This was the video that he made that was originally taken down. But anyway, the Ackman released a video titled Elden Ring Hot Takes. This video is just about people's unjustified criticism of an Elden Ring. I think I'm in this video also. And how they're hating on the game just because such content can garner reviews. He heavily featured the now removed Quantum TV review of Elden Ring. After the release of the video, Quantum TV moved to flag it, citing his usual reasons. The Axeman's video was kept on the platform, and Quantum TV was not having any of it. The next few weeks were extremely weird. Quantum TV violated TOS and incited his band of followers who stood against his critics. As detailed by the Ackman, Quantum TV refused any form of vocal dialogue between himself and the Ackman. Quantum TV violated TOS and community guidelines yet again by contacting the Ackman's mother twice. This was such a huge red flag. People were like, no, you took it too far this time. I saw so many creators just denouncing, and they have every right. Like, bringing family members into a YouTube drama is the dumbest, stupidest, most retarded shit I think I have ever seen. Like, why? Why do you have to bring, people's family members into this, doxing them? This is so stupid. Quantum TV threatened legal action against the Ackman's mother and insinuated thinly veiled threats against the Ackman and his family. Yeah, threats. The rabbit hole goes much deeper. Quantum TV has a blog post and multiple social media accounts that have now been deleted, where he posted some insanely appropriate things. He has repeatedly called out the deaths of LGBTQ members, when met with Matt Price, he has asked people on numerous occasions to go end themselves. He's also been insensitive with some of his game reviews, mainly Horizon Forbidden West and Spider-Man Miles Morales, by involving the Black Lives Matter movement. Quantum TV has also called the Batman actor Zoe Kravitz a half-breed on YouTube. The Ackman has been engaged in this battle against Quantum TV ever since the Elden Ring's Hot Takes video. YouTube has failed its content creators, and as Ackman stated, this is indeed a dark age for the platform. The Ackman's latest video once again detailed the incompetence of YouTube's review staff. Quantum TV's multiple TOS and community guidelines violations were ignored, and Ackman's latest video was pulled from the website due to an excess of nudity and sexual content, which was just a misguided accusation. It's a cucumber joke. Are you kidding me? There's clearly worse on this platform that I'm not going to get into, but seriously, that. Clearly, this video was bias flagged by Quantum TV supporters, and YouTube pulled this video without watching a second of it. The appeal to get it reinstated on the platform was rejected within 30 minutes of filing an appeal. The video in question was 50 minutes long. This makes absolutely no sense, and there is certainly corruption at play here. Yeah, people are talking about corruption at YouTube and how this is clear bias, and so or something. People were also talking about that. So yeah, anyway. The Ackman has been informed by a representative of the YouTube Partner Program that he will be removed from the service soon. Quantum TV, however, has got off scot-free. Even now, he continues to attack YouTubers like Review Tech USA, Mischief, a 17-year-old in the UK, and countless others for speaking out against him. YouTube clearly has bigger priorities like removing the dislike button. Oh, God's sake. Not this stupid shit again. Obviously, I'm not in support of them removing it. I'm just like, stop bringing it up. But anyway, and supporting an individual has nothing but inappropriate things to say. Quantum TV has spread misinformation about COVID, which is downright illegal by law, and has on multiple occasions stated that that the 2020 elections were rigged. Two of the worst things you can ever say online. One, misinformation about COVID, and then say that, oh, the 2020 elections. Like, this dude screams American. Anyway, a generous portion of the community feels like he does not deserve to have a platform, and for every day that his channel is not deleted, YouTube is to blame. YouTube has taken another step in making sure that this issue does not get a platform. They're silencing the entire YouTube community by flagging any mention of the Ackman. Various videos across the platform are getting demonetized instantly for addressing the issue. My new video, this is by Camilo331, discount Chris Pratt. My new video for tomorrow, where I don't swear once, is demonetized. YouTube doesn't want anyone talking about the Ackman. I'm gonna try and find a fix for it. I'll release it regardless, though. Yeah, the fix to this is to talk more about it. So anyway, there's no other future for YouTube if they keep pulling these tactics and silencing actual content creators who have given their blood, sweat, and tears for the betterment of the platform. Quantum TV is still uploading on a regular basis and just has a free pass to express him the way he sees fit all over YouTube. Hashtag Justice for Ackman is trending on Twitter at the moment, and there will be no rest until YouTube itself holds accountable for its inability to see the truth. This is true. I am still absolutely going. I'm not gonna let this die down. Like, I'm gonna try my best to make sure this hashtag is trending every single day, and every single active user sees this and holds YouTube accountable, because this is utterly unacceptable. This is literally the version of holding supporting someone for trying everything to support someone for no reason. I have no idea if this is some kind of backdoor dealing that is going on between YouTube and the Quantum TV, but this is absolutely unfair, unacceptable, unprovoked, and for no reason. YouTube is just destroying their platform, and it sucks to be on a platform like this where where YouTube treats their valued creators like this. Like, there is no reason for this. Like, the action not being taken is such a disgrace for people who have actually put years of work and then have the absolute right to copyright it. And this is blatant copyright abuse, blatant violation of TOS, just plain immoral, plain stupid. And I just don't understand what YouTube's motives is here. If they are willing to dig into his video and find one cucumber joke to take it down, surely they can do the investigation into Quantum TV and his past. Like, this is not a case of YouTube not knowing. This is a case of YouTube either not caring, which there's no way that they not care, because this is incredibly bad image. Like, every news article is talking about this. Is still trending on Twitter. There are so many YouTubers are making videos on this. It's just such a bad situation. So it's not that YouTube doesn't care, because if they would try to save this, because this is gonna bring massive financial and massive destruction to brand image. So it's not that they don't care. It's that they're not doing anything. So the only thing that makes sense here is corruption. There is some form of backdoor dealing here that is going on here, or this is some form of like special child treatment that's going on here. That's the best way for it anyway. Anyway, I'm pissed off. Like, this is just utter bullshit. Like, why? Anyway, we have a little bit update for that. So yeah, so YouTube did respond to this demonetization thing, and you won't believe what they demonetized him for. So, you know me, I like to joke a bit on Twitter about, just making fun of stuff. But oh god, I need to stop hitting that. But you know what? YouTube responded to this. Let me turn on my light mode. Oh god. Justin Bieber post-12 after syndrome leaves his face partially paralyzed. Okay, I don't want to see that. I get like visually grossed out on this stuff. But anyway, here is what they had to say. Okay. Here's what YouTube demonetized him for. As discussed, your YouTube partner program suspension followed your now deleted tweets threatened to dox the families of YouTube employees and creators. We don't take these decisions lightly and want you to know we are taking your concerns just as seriously. We'll keep working with you directly on this. This was a direct response, and you might be wondering, oh, what were these tweets? These are deleted tweets, and I'm just gonna recite them. Okay, I am excited to announce. Oh wait, no, that's not how you zoom in. How do you zoom in? Oh wait, I can just open it in a new tab and do that. I am excited to announce a new series of videos I'll be making on YouTube called Doxing Adventures with the Ackman. In it, I will be doxing and harassing the family members of YouTube employees and other content creators. It's sure to have lots of quote-unquote family fun, ha ha ha, Winky's face. Now, I'm not gonna say if it is satirical or not. I just want you all to guess this. With YouTube's new policy changes that allows doxing and invasion of privacy, I am fully allowed to make these videos. Love emoji. Please stay tuned for this new generation of advertiser-friendly content. Is there anything else? Yeah. So YouTube said that these are threats that they're taking seriously. And I don't know if this is your first day on Twitter or if this is your day 10,000, survival mode edition day on Twitter. But I think anyone who has seen this thinks this is satire. This literally screams satire. Like, I don't know who at YouTube thought this is taking it so seriously. And once again, no one takes this seriously. This is just used as an excuse, which screams corruption. So, more context. Feeling cute, my copyright strikes some YouTubers' channels for funsies. Feeling spontaneous, might use my YouTube channel to promote hate speech that advocates for violence against protected groups. Luckily, YouTube is a perfect place for someone like me. These are clearly satirical tweets. How do people take this seriously? To the point where you're gonna be like, oh yeah, we're taking threats seriously. We're gonna demonetize your whole channel with it. Unbelievable. So yeah, the other thing what happened was the Yakman went on a Mr. Philly D's show here. Yeah, that's the entire update. Obviously, those were the tweets that he was demonetized were completely fucking unacceptable in my opinion. But anyway, excuse me. All right. So one more article, and then we have one more situation. And I think I'll go call it a night. The Ackman responds to YouTube demonetizing his channel over satirical doxing tweet. Like, who is going to take that seriously? Tell me. Well, we have an answer. It's YouTube. The Quantum TV vs. the Ackman saga began on blah 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 blah. Fast forward to June 2022, and both creators have released a series of videos regarding the situation. YouTube didn't punish Quantum TV for abusing its copyright system, but instead taken action against Ackman. Here we've already talked about that. On June 8th, Ackman announced that his channel has lost monetization without providing a reason for YouTube's actions. Various YouTubers also reported the meaning that mentioning the Ackman in the title of this videos resulted in their videos being demonetized. Oh hell nah. I ain't dealing with that. Let's change it. Let's change that live on stream. Hopefully this doesn't show much. I have to blur that in post, but I think I'll remember to do it. We gotta change that, guys. We cannot allow that. We're gonna get silenced. We're gonna get silenced. Do we have to change this? YouTube took down his video. And then we add that question mark stat. I think that's more than good enough. But anyway, retweet to scare YouTube. Yep, definitely we're gonna retweet that. And I forgot to retweet that. But anyway, that's a nice cucumber. Would be a shame if someone made a horrible joke of it. Anyway, while with other content creators and viewers furious with YouTube actions, Philip DeFranco uses his platform to help clear the air by obtaining a quote from YouTube rep and presenting it to the Act Man. The demonetization is connected to a tweet of yours that has been since deleted, where you threatened to dox and harass the families of YouTube. DeFranco said the Act Man went on to describe the tweets to DeFranco before reposting them to Twitter. The Act Man has said that the tweet in question was part of a satirical series of tweets poking fun at YouTube's guidelines. He claims Quantum TV has violated. Like, no one can argue that those tweets were not satirical. Like, I know Twitter doesn't take kindly to jokes, but come on, that was clearly a joke. That is so blatantly, threatening. But if Twitter didn't take it down, then why should YouTube be afraid of it? He went on to discuss how his family was doxxed over a month ago when Quantum TV called the Ackman's mother. YouTube took no action against that, he stated. The Ackman did state that the tweets were irresponsible and were made out of anger for the lack of action of YouTube's part. He also stated that he believes there are good people who work at YouTube. Well, who? The what do you call them? The premium support managers? The YouTube premium support team? Because those people are good, but claim the situation makes the whole side look bad. I feel like YouTube has made the wrong decision at every point in this. Ackman shared with DeFranco, YouTube has over 1,000 opportunities to do the right thing, and at every turn they have chosen the opposite. That is true. At the end of the story, Mr. Phil's added, I will say one thing, this does feel like the tweet in question was very obviously a joke and satire. However, he did touch on one incident at YouTube headquarters in 2018 where an active shooter wounded 3 employees, leading to YouTube taking threats against his employees much more seriously. In an interview with Dixordo, Ackman was asked whether he thought the demonetization of this channel was called for, since openly stated the tweets were pushing the boundaries. I would very much say that it was unjust because my YouTube partner reached out to me and said, hey, you should delete the tweet. The Ackman answered, so I did, and I thought that would be the end of it. It was worth nothing. The Ackman posted the tweet in question on June 6th and deleted it 5 hours later. His channel was not demonetized until the 8th of June, sorry. If you add in all the other weird stuff that's going on, it feels like something else is happening, and that something else is called corruption. Why is Ethan Hayes from H3 here? Where is Ethan? Did it go all the way up there? In May, another YouTuber named Ethan Klein made a satirical bomb. Oh, not this stupid shit again. Okay, anyway, there's that entire situation. Demonetized over satirical tweaks, video taken down for a stupid joke. Once again, don't take jokes seriously. Now, would I argue that he was supposed to make that tweet? No. In a very serious situation, I wouldn't say, making tweets like this, especially on Twitter where jokes don't exist. So, in places like this, I don't think as in places and times like this, I don't think you should be joking. But any jokes that you make shouldn't be done seriously. But it's a thing, like there should be no consequences for some things, but you shouldn't do those things. It's that kind of situation. But anyway, there's that. The situation is still extremely horrible, and like it's just stupid. Anyway, I like how the other content creator defending Quantum TV is just certified. Oh god, is this J Station's tweets? Wait, let's go to the birds of a feather. I saw Jaden's community post on this. I just subscribed to Quantum TV. Oh wait, I have to read this in the satirical comment because there's no way this dude is real. But anyway, what channel will you guys watch now that Ratman is banned? The Ackman tries to hide the reason YouTube demonetized him because he knew he fucked up. He had support, so he chose to cover up evidence to keep the public on his side. You can prove he fucked up because he deleted his tweets. The Ackman tries to hide the real reason YouTube demonetized him because he knew that's the same thing. My take is the correct take. It's better to be on the one side with me. Don't be a sheep. I'm not being a sheep. I'm being right. Yeah, keep bashing YouTube seems a good plan. Dude, they banned you. Why are you supporting them? They literally banned you, and you went on a like multi-video tirade about why you hate YouTube. Oh, this is hilarious because Ant-Man is clearly a psychopath who thought he had too much power to terminate people for pathetic reasons stemming from a video game review he disagreed with. You are truly pathetic if you support him. Maybe after you try bashing YouTube some more, Ant-Man, if that doesn't work, maybe threaten them with their employees, or maybe you can read their home addresses. Oh, you tried that already? Okay, I'll think of a new plan to get you unbanned. Yeah, you're giving him more exposure than he's ever had by tweeting this. Yep, and he's always gonna get that again. He had 5 million subs, 50 likes. I'm out. L plus ratio. I'm not gonna actually type that. What is that? Well, Omni, what is that? Okay. Anyway, removing retarded people who talk about this. But anyway, give a gift today. Relax. Why? I want to see the people ratioing this tweet. 5570 likes. 1,003, 4,029. That was close. Actually, I think I'll root for this one. Uh, Come on. I want to see the ratioing tweet. Seriously, they didn't get ratioed? Utterly disappointing. Everyone go and try and ratio them. This is how we fight, by ratioing people on Twitter. Anyway, I think that's it. One last thing, I found that my video was taken down while on stream. 10 minutes later, while streaming, my brother was doxxed. They asked how the tracks he received. Dude saw Quantum TV's videos and looked up my family. YouTube is complicit in doxing. You are to blame for all of this. Whew. This is unbelievable. I can't believe this is happening in front of my eyes. Like, such a dumb, stupid situation, blown completely up just because of YouTube's just unfathomable, stupid decisions. Anyway, there's that. Once again, extremely disappointed. Still, they do have a chance. They can they can change the situation. Still, they can reinstate monetization, bring back those videos, and terminate all of Quantum TV's channels. I think the Ackman is now in a perfect place to take legal action, but I would highly argue he would want to pursue it that, and the success rate is pretty low on these kind of cases where where YouTube goes out of proportion into the land of the court. Sorry, the land of the law. So yeah, there's that. Just disappointed in YouTube. Also, okay. Anyway, next off, remember that hairy dude who was too busy to support him, but he's still gonna do it anyway. That dude, Mr. Asmongold here, huge Twitch streamer, pretty well-known Twitch streamer. His alt account got suspended for a day for hateful comments in his chat. Now, I thought, okay, hateful comments in his chat. How is that possible? His chat has moderation, but no, this is in-game chat of a game that he was playing. So, this was only suspended for a day, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's still worth talking about. Twitch star Zach Asmongold's alternate Twitch channel, Zach Roar. Okay, that should be taken down for the name. Now, if I was working at Twitch, I would take down for the name. Seriously? Okay, whatever. Was banned on 11 June 2022. The streamer had hopped on his alternate channel to have some calm camera-less streams and focus on playing games, but something else was on the cards. Earlier today, the streaming community was shocked to see Zach's alternate channel getting banned. A controversial thread about it became a trending post on the streamer-oriented subreddit r/livestream failed, with 3.8k upvotes, 903 comments. Okay, fans speculated that Twitch content and creator was banned because some players said the N word in Diablo Immortal. So this dude was playing. Actually, I wish I could watch videos, but there's no way for me to record audio, and I can't play through my headphones, obviously. But anyway, Asmong on uploaded an 8-minute long video earlier today on his main YouTube channel talking about how his recent suspension from the live streaming platform. The streamer confirmed that his secondary account was banned while he was playing Diablo Immortal on the grounds of hateful and unmoderated conduct in his chat. So effectively, I was streaming Diablo Immortal, which is, to be fair, in that itself should be grounds for a suspension, but unfortunately, Twitch did something even dumber than that. They decided to suspend me for hateful and unmoderate conduct in my chat, and I'm not talking about my chat on Twitch. I'm talking about my chat box on Diablo Immortal. So this is in-game chat. So yeah, Asmongold proceeded by mentioning how the player were in game and somehow managed to bypass the language filter. I had stood up for maybe like 5 to 10 seconds. I was readjusting my blanket here, and I had my chat showing. And in the process of doing that, there was a person in the chat who typed the N word, and they did not type it, obviously. So what they type, Nickgor, that thing I think they type. Anyway, I have the language filter on, so they had to use special ways to get around it. And if they, so they put dots in it. Oh, okay. Oh, they put dot, so n dot I dot. Okay, anyway, Asmongold spoke in a bit more by clarifying how he did not want to pay more attention to the racist player in game. Things, however, didn't go the right way as Twitch ended up banning him for not addressing the situation at the time. Twitch decided to suspend me because I did not adequately address the situation, although I spent 5 minutes afterwards talking about it and going over the reasons why it's stupid, and is the fact that people who do that are just annoying attention-seeking man children. Apparently, this wasn't enough, so Twitch suspended my account with apparently no grounds to even appeal and remove that suspension. For those that are wondering, I won't be live today, tomorrow because my second channel is suspended and will technically be ban evasion. So the reason why I think this really pisses me off is because the fact that I clearly did not support any of this, and is somehow the implication that by the suspension being there, I'm somehow complicit or okay or proof of racism being on my stream, which is I find to be completely fucking disgusting and absolutely an insult to me. More than 850 fans flocked to provide the take on the streamer's recent suspension. Several fans want to know the reason of the World of Warcraft gamers unexpected. Oh wait, that's something else. Anyway. Oh. All right. So we have our final topic. So once again, this is completely unnecessary, and I don't think it counts as ban evasion if oh no wait, it does that. On YouTube it's different. On YouTube, if it's banned for creating new accounts, not just posting to existing accounts. So anyway, our final story that I missed again yesterday, God of War Ragnarok to release in November 2022. So obviously, the start of this month was the Summer Game Fest 2022, and yeah, we had tons of new games releasing. We had Last of Us, and that's the only one that I can remember. But anyway, God of War Ragnarok release date planned for November report. The long-awaited PS4 and PS5 action game has not been delayed to 2023, and instead, it will debut this November. Sony will indeed have one of its marquee and upcoming games out before the end of the year, as God of War Ragnarok will reportedly release in November. That's according to Bloomberg, which knows the potential for the games to still be delayed. Previous speculations has suggested the PS4 and PS5 game will be pushed back to 2023, but for now, Ragnarok is still slated to come this fall. So it is still not clear that the game is going to release this year, but I really hope it's releasing because it actually really looks pretty good. And I like the stories of God of War. I think I've played the recent ones. I've played once and something else as well. But anyway, Bloomberg said that Ragnarok's official release should be announced before the end of June, but nothing is set in stone yet, and it's only possible the date could shift beyond November. It was apparently intended to release in September at one point, but only pushed back to the new November window. In May, Ragnarok was rated for release in Korea, suggesting the game was due out in the relatively near future. Sony has officially announced Ragnarok's release date. However, to all of this information should be taken with a grain of salt for now. Yes, don't take video game release dates seriously. They will always delay it, or always or deliver or under deliver. And the fatigue of talking continuously is once again hitting. How long have I been live for? When Let me just refresh my live stream and see how long I've been live for. 2 hours and 22 minutes. So once again, a little bit under 2.5 hours. I'm gonna complete this article and I think I'm gonna be signing out. But anyway, God of War Ragnarok was originally set for launch in 2021, but Kratos actor Christopher Judge suffered an injury that delayed production. The PS4 and PS5 game will face a little less competition this year as first-party races such as Microsoft and Bethesda's Starfield has been delayed to 2023. Yeah, Starfield was delayed to 2023. I saw that. Some people continue to believe that Ragnarok will be delayed to 2023, but the game's animation director said earlier this year that Ragnarok remains on schedule to launch in 2022. Developer Cody Barlog gave an update on Ragnarok earlier this year, saying everyone on the team is heads down hard at work on the project. We are perfectionists. That is not a word. Perfectionist is not a word, I know that. Barlog said, adding that he hopes to be able to share more updates and insights into Ragnarok as soon as possible. We don't want to hold any of this back, so please hold tight. Know that something cool is coming. Yes, definitely something cool is coming. I'm actually really excited about this. For more, check on okay, blah 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 blah. And that is end of this article. I'm actually still excited about God of War. I think I'm gonna place a pre-order for this. I do have the PS4 Pro, so I can play it on it. So yeah, I think that's gonna be the end of today's show, ladies and gentlemen. It's I will try and squeeze a little bit more articles, but I think that's gonna be end. It's 1:46, so usually I'll end at 2, but I think I'll sign off a little bit earlier today because I'm tired and I want to go and sleep. And yeah, I think that's done. I think about 15 stories. We have, yeah, 15 stories, and 15 stories per episode. I think will work. Or a good mix of recent trending events, recent events, a little bit of political stuff, a little bit of finance and no, not that. Well, a little bit of finance and economy, a little bit of recent events, a little bit of the cryptocurrency, a little bit of finance once again, a little bit of online drama, and a little bit of video games, and of course a little bit of technology as well. So yeah, I think I just have to find more stuff related to finance and more stuff related to entertainment. No, actually, I didn't have any entertainment specific shows. Obviously, we can talk about Justin Bieber and his paralysis thing that is delaying his show, but I really don't want to cover those types of topics on this channel. I mean, I could talk about it, but it's not necessarily something that I'm interested in. Yeah, I was also thinking about talking about music, but copyright once again is terrible, and I don't want to get into that. So no, I'm not doing music reviews anytime soon. So yeah, there is that. A good mix. I mean, actually didn't have any technology specific. Obviously, we did have Nvidia, but that's related to finance. But so yeah, good mix. I think this show is gonna improve day by day, every single day. Obviously, we have upgraded from a laptop screen to an actual full screen. The screen is actually 4K, but it is running at 1440p because HDMI 2. No, what? No, it's HDMI 1.3. Yeah, I need to get a new thing. So yeah, there is that. Yeah, I'll keep upgrading the show. I'll keep training my mouth to talk for 3 hours. Keep improving my speech, and I'll try and figure out how to get music working. I'll try to figure out how to get um other stuff working. But anyway, that's the show today, and so yes, that's gonna be the end of today's show. If you like what you've seen, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and comment down below. Actually, please comment down below your thoughts and opinions. I want to see, I want to have second opinions on this, and I always want to see your opinions. So please comment below your thoughts and opinions. That's what really matters to me a lot. And yeah, I'll return next Wednesday. So thank you so much for watching, and it's me signing off. Goodbye.